What's up guys, Jesse here back to my channel. Tonight I'll be doing a review for Aew Dynamite, so let's get to it then. Alright, I have a little MJF addresses Brian Briscoe and stuff backstage. Maxwell, Jacob Freeman appears in a backstage segment to open the show. He is holding a contract in his hand that he earned with his win in the Casino Gauntlet at AW All in Texas. He first brings up Heyman Page and who taunts for being scared for not giving him a title shot. MJF then turns his attention to Mark Briscoe. He tells the master of Redneck Kung Fu that he belongs as a farmer somewhere in the back gets of nowhere. He tells him he's a loser and vows to prove that to him once again. Later tonight, I'll see you in the main event. Oh, come on, stupid thing. Then after that, we'll get to John Moxley versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Inside stuff. You very much has the leader very Moxley. We're looking angry with mom music that sounds returns. Okay, anyways, we get Bell going, and Bailey goes right after Mox, blasting him with shots in the corner. Mox begins fighting back almost immediately, and the former AEW World Champion begins to take over, selling into a comfortable early offensive lead. Mox tries ripping Bailey's ear off in the corner. The commentators go nuts, calling that as it happened. From there, Moxley hits a body slam and he goes for the cover, but Bailey kicks out Moxley with forearms to the face, and he throws Speedball to the ropes. But Speedball with a kick to the face. Moxley falls to the outside of the ring. Speedball gets on the ring apron, and Moxley gets back in the ring. Alright, Moxley with a poke to the eyes and down goes Speedball to the outside. Moxley distracts the referee and Shafir trips Speedball down onto the floor. Kevin Knight gets in Marina's face as Moxley throws Speedball back into the ring. Moxley gets in Knight's face and both men are face to face. Speedball with the moonsault off the second rope onto Moxley on the outside of the ring. Moxley learns leaning onto the barricade as Speedball stands on top of the barricade and lands a double knees on Moxley's back. On that note, the show heads to mid-match commercial break and stuff. When the show returns, we see Speedball with the drop kick off the second rope. Speedball with kicks followed by a shooting star press. Moxley goes for a suplex, but Moxley gets behind Speedball and grabs him. But Speedball with kicks. Speedball slams Moxley down and he climbs the top rope, landing a shooting star press. Bailey goes for the cover, but Moxley kicks out. Knight and Shafir argue on the outside, and that distracts the referee. As Yuta grabs Speedball by the leg, Moxley lifts Speedball up and slams him onto the mat. He goes for the cover, but Speedball kicks out. Darby Allin shows up in between the fans, and he puts a rug on Yuta, and both men fight to the back. That distracts Moxley as Speedball rolls Moxley, but Moxley kicks out Speedball with an armbar, but Moxley gets out of it. Moxley gets Speedball in a chokehold followed by a brainbuster. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. He leaves the ring and jumps the barricade with Rena as they go after Darby. So winner is John Moxley, and then Renee Paquette injury with Tony Storm and Alex Windsor. After the match, we shoot backstage where Renee Paquette is standing by with the newfound duo of AEW Women's World Champion Thomas Tony Storm and newcomer to the new scene in AEW, Alex Windsor. Windsor talks about the TBS title eliminator tonight, while Storm talks in usual Thomas fashion, ending on a note about tango dancing. Alright, challenge issue for AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door London. We shoot outside and stuff. We see John Moxley Shafir still on the move following the match with Speedball. Mike Bailey and Black Darby Allin crash. They knows a white body bag with a body inside it moving around. They approach it as a vehicle by honking. It's where Yuta tied up with his mouth taped shut and a note that says Forbidden Door written across his forehead. After that, we get to the second match. TBS Championship eliminator for Forbidden Door. Alex Windsor versus Sky Blue versus Billy Starks versus Amanada. The bell rings and we're on the way. Starks is thrown to the outside as Windsor and Amanada hit Blue with right hands. Amanada with a snapmare followed by a kick onto Windsor. Blue drags Amanada to the outside and she throws her into the ring steps. Blue gets back in the ring and Starks with right hands onto Windsor. Blue and Starks double team Windsor. Blue with a knee to the face, and Amana with a big boot onto Blue, and Blue falls to the outside of the ring. Amana gets on the ring apron, and Blue trips her up, followed by a net breaker. Windsor with a senton onto Blue, and Starks with a splash onto Windsor. On that note, show shifts gears to match country break as this high stakes contest continues. When the show returns, we see Windsor connect with Blue Thunder bomb onto Blue. And then, shit, come on. And comes Starks, and she lands a kick to the face onto Windsor. Starks to the ropes, but Windsor with a powerbomb. She goes for the cover, but Starks kicks out Windsor with a sharpshooter onto Starks, but Amidala with kicks onto Windsor. Amidala with forearms to the face. Starks and Blue get in the ring, but Windsor and Amidala land German suplexes on them. Both Amidala and Windsor with double headbutts to the face, and all four women are down. Blue gets on the second rope, but Windsor with a headbutt. Windsor climbs the second rope, but Blue lands on a sunset flip powerbomb cover. Amina breaks it up. Amina slams Blue, and Starks lands on Santon onto Blue. Amina rolls Starks up, but Starks kicks out. Blue rolls to the outside, and she grabs a chair, hitting Amina in the face. She places the chair. Amina slams her back first onto the chair. Windsor with a clothesline onto Starks. Then Athena is about to get in the ring, but Storm drags her to the outside and hits her with a right hand. Starks grabs Windsor, but Windsor rolls her up and gets the pin with the win. It will be Alex Windsor versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS title at Forbidden Door London. So winner, a new number one contender and challenger for TBS title at Forbidden Door, Alex Windsor. Then after the match wraps up, once the match wraps up, Tony Storm enter the ring to help Windsor celebrate Mercedes Moné's theme hits, and CEO makes her way out. 8 belts Moné sells in the ring, hands off 7 of her 8 belts, then steps to Windsor. She raises the TNT title high in the air to show what they'll be fighting for at Forbidden Door London. Out of nowhere, Athena hits the ring and leaps off the top rope, blasting Storm with her finisher. Moné then hits Windsor with her finisher as well. The show heads to a commercial break. Then Don Callis gives Kyle Fletcher gift and stuff, and the show returns where Don Callis' new team make their way out. Renee Piquez, along with that covered. To make a long story short, after a giant, we see the painting. It's a painting of Don Callis' face, painted over Kyle Fletcher's body, holding the TNT Championship. Fletcher thinks it's great. It's the best gift everyone has ever given him. Fletcher vows to be the best TNT champion of all time and announces his first title defense for this Saturday's episode of Aew Collision. That was fucking weird, man. I didn't enjoy that at all. And then now Copen made an announcement for next week's match. He'll be going against one-on-one with Stoke Sterling and stuff. So, anyways, after that, AEW World Tag Team Championship Eliminator Tournament, Brody King and Bandito versus the Young Bucks. Back inside the arena and stuff, they get away out their personal little screw-up entrances of Bugs. Alright, anyways, the bell sounds. Oh shit, come on. The bell sounds, and we go with Hot Six Training. Fans break out a loud jobber chant aimed at the Young Bucks. Nick Jackson and Bandito kick things off with their respective teams. Bandito takes down both Matt and Nick. Bandito tags Brody King into a match. He clotheslines both men down. Bandito is tagged back in as the Young Bucks fall to the outside. Bandito with a moonsault off the top rope onto both men. King with chops onto the Young Bucks. All that note, show shift gears into match commercial break. Alright, by the way, it was twice it went to commercial break. Alright, so when the show returns, we see the Young Bucks double team King, Nick with a rake to the eyes, and Matt is tagged in. Matt with double axe King and chops, but they double team him. Matt goes for the cover, but King kicks out. Matt tries to lift King up, but King falls on top of him. Nick jumps off the top rope, but King with that right hand. Bandito is tagged in, but they double team him with Nick with the face buster onto Bandito, and he lands a moonsault onto King. Matt goes for the cover, but Brody breaks it up. Brody gets in the ring, but is thrown to the outside. Nick with a super kick onto Bandito, with a stunner to the outside. Bandito to the outside, and Nick with the corkscrew onto him after way too many more high spots, finishing sequences and near falls too close to call. Things finally culminate with Brody King on his back flip, spinning a sprinting Bandito into a 450 splash for the win. With the win, Brodito will now face FTR to determine the challengers for the Hurt Syndicate and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, winners and advancing the AEW World Tag Team Championship Eliminator Tournament, Brody King and Bandito. Then MVP talks to MJF backstage stuff about me, we, and all that stuff, and then towards that, at the end of that, MVP went like this, Tim, and that's it. Then after that, we have Sir Strickland has a message to Kazuchika Okada ahead of Forbidden Door inside the Woolston Center. We see Renee Paquette at the top of the entrance stage. She introduces her guests at this time. Sword Strickland as he comes accompanied by Prince Nana for an onstage interview. Sword tells her that last year at Forbidden Door he had to put down Will Ospreay. Sword says if he did that to his friend and family, what does Okada think he will do to him? He says Okada is current unified champion, but when they say that Okada is a generation wrestler, Swerve is someone that no one has ever seen before. Swerve says Okada has come after him 3 times and he has put the fear of God into him. He says that is a big match for Okada because he is facing off against the most dangerous man in AEW, and that is him. He says that is also about his redemption because he lost 2 of the biggest matches in his career back to back times in London. He says he wants to continue his legacy by defeating Okada. He vows to do exactly that. Then Heyman prays, respects Mark Briscoe and stuff, and yeah, they respect each other. Then after that, we have a backstage thing, segment, whatever stuff, promo, we want to call it, about with Will and I get Chris Stanley and Amina. It was about their match and stuff coming, all that blah blah. So anyways, main event coming up, grudge match, MJF versus Mark Briscoe. Main event back inside arena. Gilmore 2 is like, all right, yeah, boy, it's all right. So on that note, Master Rena Kapu emerged for World Pro. Well, waste no time. Now we make his way to he's always inside the ring. He's done now. All right. Anyways, the bell goes and get our grudge match. Straight out of the gate, Briscoe waits no time, blasts MJF, but right hands he climbs the top rope, but MJF rolls to the outside of the ring. Mike to the ropes, but MJF jumps the barricade. Mark with the right hands as both men begin to fight up the stairs and through the fans. MJF begins to walk away and Mark throws him through the barricade and back towards the ring. Mark goes under the ring and grabs the table. MJF gets back up and grabs Briscoe. However, Briscoe throws him into the ring post and into the ring. Briscoe climbs the top rope, but MJF once rolls out of the way. MJF grabs the referee and Mark grabs the referee, but MJF with a ray to the eyes. He throws Mark into the turnbuckle, but MJF with the headlock. The master of Redneck Kung Fu gets to his feet, only for MJF to connect with the modified start. He goes for the cover, but Mark kicks out. On that note, show gears a mid-match commercial break as the grudge match main event continues. When the show returns, we hear from Excalibur that we're back from will be the final break of the evening and stuff. So that kind of goes without saying. Anyway, where MJF is shown in a comfortable offensive lead in the ring. Briscoe, however, brings showing signs of life and fighting back. Briscoe takes over, looking to hit his froggy off the top rope, but MJF rolls out to the floor to avoid it. Briscoe dies anyways, connecting with it from the top rope all the way to the floor. He rolls MJF back in the ring and climbs to the top rope again, but again MJF rolls away. Alright, as the action continues, instead we see things spill out to the floor as MJF begins settling back into the defensive lead. MJF ends up putting Briscoe through a table on the floor. Briscoe just barely beats the count, getting back on the ring apron at 9. MJF greets him there and hits his Heat Seeker finisher. He goes for the cover. Briscoe gets his foot on the ropes right before the referee reaches the count of 3. However, the referee didn't see it. As the referee jumps to a call for the bell, we see MJF knows Briscoe's foot on the ropes. He looks back and sees the referee is oblivious, so he quickly knocks Briscoe's foot off the ropes and jumps up celebrating. So winner is MJF. Alright, his music plays, but it stops when he drops down and begins beating Briscoe down with his Dynamite ring on. The theme for Heyman Page hits and the AEW World Champion emerges to a big pop. He got to look up pure anger in his eyes. He stares at MJF. Heyman sets his title down and runs down the ramp. MJF meanwhile runs out of the ring and up the ramp, meeting Heyman halfway. The two trade shots back and forth, with Heyman ultimately getting the better of the exchange. Back in the ring, we see Briscoe finally coming to. He backs into the corner and sits up with his face completely covered in blood. Heyman notices this and goes to check on him. As he does, he hears MJF yelling and quickly exits the ring, hops the guardrail, and meets up with MJF for another wild back and forth brawl in a sea of fans. Several officials run to the scene to break things up. The two fight their way past the security, back over the guardrail, and back to ringside. Heyman rolls MJF in the ring, hops on the apron and takes his jacket off. He gears up for his buckshot layer-up finisher. MJF recovers and rolls out the other side of the ring in time. The camera shot shows a tight close-up of Heyman staring down MJF from the opposite side of the ring. And that's how the show ends and stuff. So yeah, good show time. But man, that when you say it, Brodito versus the Young Bucks match, that was good. That was a good one. I enjoyed that one a lot. So yeah, that was very good and stuff. So yeah, very good show tonight, earlier tonight and stuff. So yeah, sorry I didn't make it right away because I had a different show coming around like 9:30 and stuff. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyways, that was a good show tonight, earlier tonight and stuff. So anyways, that was this first video. Hope you like it and not where so. So like, subscribe, hit that button, leave a comment. If you guys want to leave a comment stuff, I don't care what you guys do. Now is it. I'll see you guys Friday night for Friday Night SmackDown. Alright, laters.